Hey everyone, hello, hello. Welcome to my Facebook Live. And this is one of the last times I'm going to be pushing on the conversation of baseline. So, this is my summary around developing, creating, having a healthy emotional baseline. Um, and after this point, what you'll be noticing is I'll be sending you an invite to my baseline course. It's like a 6 week, very short video course where you can just hear more thoughts about how to keep your baseline going in a stable, strong, emotional way. So I invite you to take a look at that and see if it's right for you. But in the meantime, I have a story for you, and it starts with a question, which is, where do your thoughts go all day? Where do your thoughts go all day? And what kind of thoughts are you having? Can you track them? Think about today. How many thoughts have you been in and out of all day today? And when you're in your mind or in a thought and you're actually interacting with somebody, how is your interaction affected by what you think or what you believe or what you're feeling? So the answer to that question is that it's very, very much so influenced by what's going on inside of you, unless you have a solid baseline and you are noting and can tell and can stay solid in your own sense of yourself when you're interacting with someone else. And this is actually an art, I think. So I want to tell you a story which will illustrate some of these concepts. I was working with a couple, and they always had this real difficult time transitioning back together at the end of a day. There was always some kind of um, fight or skirmish or misunderstanding or hurt. And that's how they would see each other at the end of the day. And it was kind of sad because during the day, they would have thoughts of being back together and having a nice evening. But it never really started out that way. And it took them a long, long time to conquer that. And when we broke it down later in many, many sessions, the one of the members of the couple just had like really difficult family life where there was lots of chaos and lots of unhappiness, and that's how she remembers the ending of her days when she would come home from school or from activities, that there wasn't a lot of noticing of her, or there wasn't a peaceful environment that she walked into. And he had a completely different understanding of the end of his day. He was actually greeted by people who wanted to see him, questioning him about his day, like, how are you? What have you been doing? What have you been thinking about? What do you want for dinner? Like a lot of engagement. So when they came together at the end of a day, he would do what he was used to growing up, what he remembered, and what was really instilled in him. And she would do this very sort of traumatized response of coming back together with him. And so it was really, really difficult. And eventually, they negotiated how they would deal with that moment. And she would actually come into the house. He wouldn't recognize, like attend to her right away. He would let her have her space. She would transition to her space, transition out of her day, maybe put on comfortable clothes, maybe rest a while, take a hot shower. And then when she was ready, she would come out into the main space and interact with him then. And he would just suss out whether and how much engagement she wanted. And together they negotiated how to have this healthier interaction based on their thoughts and based on all the thoughts that were going in their head, before they saw each other and when they saw each other. And it was a different experience that they were both having. So they came together and negotiated how they could have a peaceful, similar experience. And they both had to give and take a lot in that. But one of the things that happened in therapy, which was really, really important, which is the thing I want you to remember for yourself, is that going from being able to describe what your feelings are actually relieves a lot of stress. And a lot of times we can't do that. We can't translate what's happening to us. So instead, we have a reaction, we have a trigger, we get triggered by somebody. But if we can slow down enough that we can actually talk about what's happening, we can decrease our stress and we can stay more connected to ourselves. So it's the art of staying really connected with yourself and then interacting with someone else and not getting thrown off by your interaction with them and what's going on for them. Super hard to do, I know. You have to really stay connected to yourself, and then you might adjust what's going on for that person and what they might need from you. But it is the real ability to separate and detach from somebody and stay with your own internal experience and then be able to interact with the external experience of the other person. And that is all about emotional intelligence. And that is all about what I am wanting to teach you about in terms of creating a baseline, is your own self-management, your own emotional self-awareness, your social interaction with another person, and then your relational management of actually managing that relationship with whoever you are trying to be close to. And that relationship management has to do with staying with yourself and then also connecting with another person. And both people can have their own experiences, but we love as human beings to share reality. So we have to find an overlapping reality that we can share, and that comes with a lot of communication and insight in ourselves. So creating a baseline and creating a real good emotional solid baseline within yourself that involves self-care practices, from how you wake up in the morning and stay focused and set intention, to how you spend your evening at the end of a day, to being able to accomplish things, to stay really present in yourself and your life and your goals. This is all about emotional intelligence, and that is in creating your baseline. And when you do that, you can actually see your life being really affected by the kind of emotional stability you have in terms of what you can create, the dreams you can manifest, and the reality that you can actually live, and the things that you can handle in life. So what I'm hoping for you is that you heard something in here today that you might have related to, that you can start practicing yourself, whether it is when you're having an emotion come up, that you're able to label that emotion and say it out loud, that you're noticing that whoever you're interacting with, if you're tuning into them, they might be having some kind of reaction or trigger, or they might have a certain sensitivity that day. And when you acknowledge that without disrupting your own sense of your own emotional well-being or centeredness, that you can have a much healthier interaction and therefore can be really more stable and successful in your life. So this is something I really believe in. This is something I practice, and this is something I talk about and teach in all of the services that I offer. So the baseline course will be something really interesting to share with you, and I hope you'll check it out. There'll be links sent through Instagram, Facebook, and on my website, so you'll be able to read more. And on YouTube, you'll be able to see a few clips of some of the ideas that I want to share with you all in my course. So I hope you're having a great Wednesday. I'm looking forward to talking to you next week. Next week, I'll be diving into some more relationship issues so that you can see yourself in these kinds of relationship issues and try to develop some more skill set and insight in your own life. So have a great day, and I'll look forward to seeing you again real soon. Bye for now.